computer.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I like the colors.
I like the color too. I wish they have it on the phone too, but they're not there.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Good morning, we can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I was wondering if my audio is working or not, but I'm glad to hear you guys back. Let's give like 2 more minutes to everyone, like before we get started, and then we'll go from there. I'm just gonna grab my coffee. I'll be right back.
Hey, Dragna, how's it going today?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's honestly like a weird day today, but I just got a brownie. Yvette made some. They taste amazing, and yeah, I'm chilling right now. But
Enjoy.
yeah,
Huh?
thank you. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll get started. Okay?
Perfect. I am ready, and I think we should get started. I wanted to give a couple of minutes to some people who might be running late, but let's get started. And then if anyone else joins in, we'll just they can just connect whenever they're ready. Good morning.
All right,
Good morning.
sounds good.
So nice to see everyone, some of the familiar faces that I can see, and then some familiar names, like on, like here as well. Hello, Carlos. My name is Dragana Popovic, and I've been with our office for those of you that didn't attend my class a couple of weeks ago. I've been with the office for about 6 years. This is like the first office I came to and the only office I've been working at, and I've always loved it. And just wanted to make sure that in addition to what we're going to be going over during the class, you are fully aware that the culture of our office and the people that work in our office, like it's a very special place. And like the agents that work here, including myself, we are here to support you guys as much and however we can, especially at the very beginning of your career where everything does seem overwhelming. You have so many questions. You think you should know so much more before you can really, get things done. But we are here to support you. It's going to take years. Sometimes people are in the business for 20 years and they didn't have certain situations happen to them while dealing with their clients. They might not even know the answers. So just be confident when you are with potential leads, or people that in your neighborhoods and that you're hoping to get some leads from, and know that you just work with your network, bring in the leads. We will be here to support you, to give you the answers that you don't know, to help you get through deals, and so that you're successful and that you continue to grow as agents. I always like to remind you that in first year or two of being in this business, you're going to be bombarded every single day with emails coming from the office, from California Association of Realtors, from Beverly Hills, Los Angeles Association of Realtors, from this coach, from that coach, and who knows what, and you just don't even know where to turn first. But please remember, two things you should be concentrating on every single day are education and lead generation. This is how you're going to learn the business, and this is how you're going to grow your business, and you're going to continue doing it forever. Every day, as we say, never a dull day in the office. And that's the beauty of our job, that no two deals, no two clients are the same. And it's not boring. There's always something new that's happening. And I think you should embrace every possible opportunity to learn something. We offer a lot of, there's a big accent in our office and in KW in general on education. So we offer many different classes. I love Ignite. I think it's so well put together and organized to give you a nice overview of every single aspect of our business and to give you resources to get started. to build your system so that you can be like more successful and organized and can jump on opportunities should there arise. And I recommend I hope that you have been coming daily to these sessions, or if you're not able to, watching the videos which are now sent after this class, but try to do it in the order it's set up, because that order really makes sense, and especially after you complete the whole training, you will see how you're going to transition from one to another, and how as a whole it all makes sense. And I will always encourage you to consider going through Ignite one more time after you finish, because I am convinced the things that then the second time around going to make much more sense. And by then you will also have some situations that you've personally been in, and and know how you address them and so forth. And I even sometimes after many years in the business, I sometimes go and watch these classes, because I'm interested in what my other colleagues have to say about certain subject matters. And the nice thing about how we do Ignite at our office, that different people teach different classes, so the chances are the second time around you will have an opportunity to be in class and hear a different agent's perspective, because many things in life and many things in many businesses, we are primarily problem solvers, and many things that we come across daily in our business can be approached from several different angles and several different ways. And it all depends on your own personality, and also depends on the personality of your clients. So it's good to know all different perspectives, and then find something that works best, again, with you and your target audience, your leads and your clients. So today, let me just get started with where we are today. We are going to focus on using the buyer's consultation to get to a signed buyer representation agreement, which is in first step to closing with the buyer, and at the end of the transaction getting paid, because that's where we're here to help our clients and hopefully get paid at the end. And I want you to understand the importance of the BRE, or the buyer representation agreement, and make it a habit to have it signed during your buyer consultations.
Dragana, this is Vin. So I mainly focus on buyers right now. I'm relatively new, and I started out doing these buyer agreements, but it's after we get trust or so, I haven't asked for it again. Do you still think it's a vital part of the business right now, starting?
I think it's very important, and I'll tell you, and I'll tell you why. And listen, I've been in situations before. Sometimes you will get to work with, let's say, really close friends of yours, or family members, and and sometimes buyers are going to be out there in the field, and you might not be with them, and they might see a sign, or they might just go somewhere by themselves. They're going to meet the listing agent. They're going to get into the situation. They might go somewhere where you need to pre-register your buyers, for a presentation, and really happens, let's say, like on new developments. And unless you have pre-register your buyer clients to go into the meeting and letting them know that you're their agent, like you're not going to get the commission. Like the only way to make sure you're going to get paid and get a commission is if you have this buyer representation agreement signed. And especially so, like when you're working with close friends or family, I think like that it just makes it more professional and more business-like to separate your personal relationship with them, being like friends, having fun, going out, whatever it is. And then that kind of like just fortifies the idea that you want to relate to them, that you're treating this as business, like, and then, like you're going to be protecting their best interest, like in this transaction. And that agreement, which talks about everything, including, like the confidentiality and everything else, like that you are their fiduciary and everything else, just takes everything to the next level. Why wouldn't you do it? You explain to them that there is like 3 main agreements that are signed in any business, in any real estate transaction. There is the listing agreement that gets signed like between the seller and the listing agent. There is a buyer's representation agreement that's signed between the buyer and like their agent. And then there is a purchase agreement between the seller and the buyer. So just like the listing agent has signed the deal with the seller, we're expecting to make our relationship official and go through it. It's a very simple document. It's only like a couple of pages. It's not like the purchase agreement, which goes much in detail. And we'll go over it like in this class and you will see, but I definitely recommend get it signed. Make it official. It's gonna make you look more professional and just take your business relationship to the next level. So as you've seen this slide before, just a reminder every day, what do? We do 2 types of activities to be and remain successful. We have to work on growing our business and we have to do things just like running our business. So we've spoken about lead generation for buyers and sellers. You have already gone through, working with sellers and making seller listing presentations. And today we're discussing how you can make a buyer presentation. And, another thing you do, you preview real estate, which is still not common these days due to COVID, but in normal times, and we're heading there very, very soon, we will be back to open houses and broker caravans where we can go and visit properties that are for sale. In case we're specifically looking for something for our buyers or to be in the know, to know what's out there, to follow the market, to see, pricing wise, what people are looking for, what are the trends. So, you gain that knowledge through going out there, seeing properties and meeting the other agents and building those connections and relationships were very, very, very important. So we discussed right now, why it is important to get this buyer representation agreement signed. And just as a conclusion, you want to avoid spending a significant amount of time working with the
Mhm.
who will ultimately use, possibly knowingly, unknowingly, you're like another agent to purchase the home, and that agent is going to like end up with the commission. When you like working with sellers requires you like us agents to invest funds upfront, because we are the ones who are in charge of putting together the marketing material for like our properties. On the other hand, like working with buyers, you don't have that cost upfront except for like the gas money, or like you want to take your client for coffee, or like or lunch, like sometimes, but you will spend a lot of time with them going, seeing properties, like, and then like putting together like their offers, making sure like they're like pre-approved, and like teaching them about the process, getting them familiar and comfortable with the process, and helping them realize what really is their ideal home, like setting up their expectations, which is so important in today's very
Mhm.
seller's market. And like, so just make sure that like your clients have realistic expectations, that they have the stomach for the market that we are in, like today, and to like be on board and do the best they can once they're ready to like put their offer and submit, so that like they can win in what will likely in majority of cases be multiple offer situations.
Yes.
So like you've been like, if we go to the next Cameron, can we go to the next slide? And we can go one more. Okay, so you remember this like slide, you're working with you're doing prospecting and marketing, working with leads, like with contacts, like cultivating them, and finally like you have a buyer. And we like, if like the buyers, you also divide them and know which buyers are the buyers that are able, ready, and willing to purchase a new home now. Like these are the buyers that you're mainly concentrating, and they're what we call A buyers. And the other buyers who are just like preparing to get in the market and will be buying in like 3, 6, 12 months, you continue working and cultivating them. But the A buyers are the ones who are able, ready, and willing to purchase a home now. And they are the ones who might be under contract in a matter of weeks. Sometimes it happens that like first time or second time you take them out to show them their homes, they see something that they love and they're ready to.
Oh, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really busy. We had a lot of.
Cameron, can you?
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Thank you. No. Okay, you can keep it there. Like I just wanted to let you know, like your.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
So that we were hearing all the background.
Okay.
No worries. Thank you so much. Okay, where were we? So once you have an A buyer, it is time to close for the appointment. At this time, you will also want to add or to update this opportunity in your command database. And then you want to schedule a buyer consultation. where like ever it's convenient for you. Like for a long time during COVID, like we've been doing this buyer consultation over Zoom. Now that things are getting more relaxed and COVID is more under control, people are vaccinated, we are starting to set appointments in person. You might want to, like typically in the world pre-COVID, we always recommending setting up appointments at the office. We have a conference room, we have, like the classrooms, like where, like you can set up an area and meet your clients there. And we always thought it was always like a good and professional like setup to meet them at. There's no distractions of like being in a restaurant and like things happening around. They're there, like they connect you with like a real office and like doing real estate. And that's what that meeting is about. Now that, like our market center has opened up again, I don't know what everybody's level of comfort like is, but that's something that we're going to start doing again, setting up the appointments and meeting our clients there. But for the time being, like also depending on how comfortable your clients are, you will, like many people will continue doing Zoom consultations, like, or setting them the appointment somewhere like outdoor. But just keep in mind when you're setting the appointment, if you're meeting at a coffee shop, if you're meeting at a restaurant, choose both the location and the time of the meeting to make sure you're like, it's not super busy. There's not too many distractions like around, and you can really concentrate on your conversation, not being rushed by the, like the waiters or anybody else. So just be mindful about that, because you want to concentrate on business and stay focused on that conversation. While you are setting the appointment, I always recommend doing the pre-qualification of like using a buyer lead sheet. I'm going to share the screen so that you can see it, like what it looks like, and I'm happy to then share this like over Zoom. Hold on just one second. Cameron, can you give me the permission to share my screen? Cameron. Perfect. Okay. Can everybody see the buyer lead sheet? So you want to keep this with you. You like, it's a PDF, you can print it out if it's easier, like write it down, or you like, you just want to enter their contact in like information. And it's a good idea to prepare for your consultation. You like get some idea about what they're thinking, about what they're considering, so that you can be better prepared for that, like conversation. Like you can ask them questions as like, has an agent taken you out and shown you any properties? That way, if they've been working with anybody else, like, and you want to make sure that they don't have the like buyer representation agreement signed with someone else. Like, and sometimes like there's some people, they think it's okay to go like with a few agents at the same time. So like some people are somehow under impression that like it's better like not to put all your eggs like in one basket. They think like several different like agents will be able to like show them more properties or get them like in front of like some pocket listings and so forth. So it's good for you to know where they are in regards to that. You want to ask them the question, is there anybody else buying the home with you? Like, because you want to make sure that you're meeting with all of the decision makers. It's pointless to, let's say, like meet only like with the wife or the husband if their partner is not around. Like, it's very important to make sure just like that all the decision makers are there, because you want all the decision makers also to sign the agreement, but you also want to get that relationship started with all of the decision makers that you're going to be dealing with. You want to ask them like who will be living with them in their new dream home, how long they've been looking for a home. Ask them like, I'm curious, like, why are you moving? These are very important questions because you are uncovering their motivations, and something that you will have to keep reminding them later on in the process once they start going all different directions, just to keep them focused. Find out if they're currently renting or owning. That's a very important information, because if they're renting, you also want to make sure you know all the specifics, like when is their lease up, or you want to make sure to address the advantage of home ownership comparing to renting, because sometimes people have been in their rental properties forever and paying really low prices, and they might not be as motivated to move. They will only move if they find something amazing, or if they find a deal, and there's no deals like these days. But the facts are, especially in our city of Los Angeles, where we are lucky to have such amazing appreciation of properties, in addition to them buying their own dream home, that they are the only decision makers about what they can do there, and what's going on. And it's going to be a beautiful home to host their family, and build their memories in. We're lucky to live in a place where homes are also a great investment. So you want to address that, just to keep them on the track, while you're working with them, the advantage of buying versus renting. If they tell you that they own a home, that's a, a light bulb, it's very important information, because likely, they will be selling that house, as well. And you might end up doing 2 deals with them instead of 1, and you want to be able to address that. So you'll ask them, do you need to sell your current home before you buy your next home? You want to find out if they need to sell their home, if they've signed a listing agreement with another agent who's going to be representing them on that part of a deal. And then again, you want to find out what's a good time to meet. You also just want to address, just ask them briefly, are you able to, how are you planning to fund this purchase? Are you able to pay with cash, or will you be needing to work with the lender, which in majority of cases that's going to be the case. And ask them if they've already been pre-approved by a lender. So you can ask them, do you have any idea, because today, in the age where everyone has Zillow or Redfin downloaded, on their phone, there are people, especially if they've been thinking about buying, people are going on these apps, and they're kind of familiar, and they have some kind of an idea of how much they want to spend or how much they can spend. So you just want to get an idea where they are with that, and check if they work with a lender. And just use this. This is a great sheet that will help you have that conversation with them. And it should be just 5-10 minutes, just to quickly go over this and find out, very importantly, which neighborhoods are they thinking about, because you want to get familiar with this neighborhood before you go to meet them, because they need to come out confident after this meeting that you know, first of all, what you're doing, and that you also know the area where they are going to be looking for a home. So let's stop sharing. So let's go back to the main screen.
Dragana?
Uh-huh.
I have a question. On the first step where you ask them if they're working with another agent, let's say that they're not. And let's say that this buyer is just like shopping around, they're meeting with different agents, they haven't signed any agency disclosure agreements, and they're kind of doing the same thing to you. So I guess, first of all, like, has that ever, I'm sure that's happened before, but how do you deal with somebody like that? Do you just straight up tell them, look, you know, you need to go ahead and, or like, figure out the best way to tell them to sign the agency disclosure agreement, because then you'll solely represent them, you have a fiduciary duty, all that good stuff? Or if they just keep kind of giving you the runaround, you just, you know, let them go and just have them do their own thing?
So you're like, I'll tell you what, I always, like, again, what we just discussed was the pre-consultation quick phone call you have with them so that you can be best prepared for that, like, buyer consultation. You always have that buyer consultation, and the main idea, because like, behind that meeting, you want you like to get to know your clients, find out their motivations, like find out their wants and needs. You want to communicate your value proposition, and you want to address all their concerns and make them comfortable during that presentation, so that they hopefully, like, make them comfortable working with you as an expert, like, like as an agent. And at the end of the meeting, you will ask them to sign this, like, agreement, hopefully having convinced them by that time, you know, like, that that's what they should do. Sometimes it happens that at the end of the meeting, the clients are going to say, like, love meeting with you, I'm feeling like really like good about it. However, you like, we're still not at that point, but a little bit scared, like, of the paperwork, like, and you like, so forth. And then you can come back to them, you like, this is what I do. Like, it all depends on where you are with your business, how busy you are, whether you personally want to take that risk and work with people who are like this, you know, like, maybe if you don't have anything else going on, maybe you will decide to do that. You know, like, I always tell my clients, like, here's what, you know, like, we can do. I only work with a handful of clients at a time, so that I'm able to give the level of service that I do give to, you know, like, to my clients. So you know, like, if I'm willing, like, I only get paid if and when, you know, like, you decide to buy, you decide to put an offer, that offer gets accepted. We go through, like, a, you know, like, a very complex escrow process, during which I'm going to be there for you 24/7 and guide you through the process, help with negotiation. It's like so much time and effort involved in all of this. I'm willing to do all of this, you know, like, and risk whether I'm going to get paid, you know, like, or not. And I'm only going to get paid if and when that transaction closes. So if I am willing to give you my time, my expertise, you know, like, and, you know, like, and help any way I can in the process, I expect my clients to be ready to formalize that relationship and to commit to me as well. What I'm willing to do, like, based on our conversation right now and me finding out what your wants and needs are, like, and, you know, like, what I think is the best match for you, I'm willing to go do my homework, send you the list of properties that I think would be a great match and, you know, like some place where we should start our search. And I'm willing to take you out for that like first tour. And let's see how you feel at the end of that, you like first time. But at that point, I will be expecting us to, you know, like formalize our relationship if we are going to, you know, like continue forward. So, and most of the time people will then, you know, like you like appreciate that extra opportunity, and hopefully by next time after you spend that time you take them out, they feel like you get them, like you understand what they need, and they feel like, okay, like this person knows what they're doing. They will then, you know, like appreciate it and sign that agreement. I would, you know, like I personally would not, because I have other clients that I need to tend to and other leads, which I think is much better way to spend my time as efforts to. Like, I will not, if they're like that, like they're not going to be like reasonable people. They're not, you know, like they're going to waste a lot of time. Listen, there have been cases before that people were hesitant and ended up buying with you and like making the, you know, like making the commission in the end. But in majority of the cases, you know, there can be a lot of wasted time, and the time that, you know, like you should spend following up on some other like leads and working with people who really want to be in business with you, who appreciate your time and efforts and all of that. So again, it's your choice. But you like, they do deserve to be, you know, treated to a thorough presentation. Like you have to be able to relate your value proposition, and you should be, you know, convincing and like in doing that. And you like, and I always tell my clients, says like, listen, if we work together for a few weeks, for a month, and we find out that we're not like the best match for each other, like that somehow like I might not like get you, like, and you know, like it just doesn't feel right working together. I said, like, I always tell my clients, like, I will gladly like rip, you know, like apart like this contract, let you go with anybody else. And I might even be able at that time to recommend a colleague of mine that I think would be a better match, like working with you. So don't make them think if they sign this contract, like they're bound to you and you're going to hold the gun against their head, you know, like to finalize. But like, and trust me, like if it's not a good situation, if it's not a good match, it's such an energy, you know, like, and time like sucker. You're never going to feel right about it. And it might be better to recommend them to someone else who knows how to deal with these people, personality wise is a better match. And you can end up with 25%, you know, like referral fee, like, and not have to deal with some people that you don't enjoy working with. So make sure they understand it's not set in stone. You're like, it's just, you know, like formal, like way to formalize your relationship, and it's not a good match. You know, like you guys can always decide to part ways, but you like will be there with them and for them every step of the way, and doing your best job, like being their fiduciary, being the best advocate for them until that very moment. So going back, like, so you like, we discussed this, you know, like quick call so you can best prepare for the presentation. And then our like command provides several templates for the buyer presentation that are fully customizable to match your own value proposition and also the buyer that you're meeting with. If you have not had the chance to create the buyer presentation yet, I highly recommend that that's the next step of what like you should be doing. Highly likely in this first phase of your business, you will mostly be dealing with buyers. It's just, you know, like naturally how it is. probably in many cases with like first-time buyers. So it's important to set up and have your template ready, and then every time before your next presentation, just go over it and customize it a little bit further. Maybe it's just going to be like you might need to change like a sentence or two in your cover letter of that like presentation, just so that you make it a little bit more personal to them. Like I always, like enter the name like of the clients and the date like we're meeting, and they always appreciate it. They always feel like, oh wow, like this was just prepared like for me. So that buyer presentation is a tool to also guide the conversation during the presentation and provide the client with a tangible demonstration of your expertise as a real estate agent. Let me share the screen again and just make sure that you know where you can find this and you like command, and where you also can find the questions to all your answers to all your questions about how you're doing. Hold on just for 1 second. Cameron, can you let me share the screen again? Is there any questions, guys, like based on, like I've been talking so much, is there any questions so far? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, I had a question so at the beginning, of course, we deal with buyers, right? But when did you start like going towards sellers in your business?
Oddly enough, like my first transaction was like a lease, which happens often. My second transaction was working with buyers, and my third transaction that happened within 7-8 months into the business was a listing of my dear friend's house. So it just depends. It's it depends on you, who you're talking to, what your audience needs is. So who knows, maybe you're just naturally it happens that in the beginning of the career, you mostly work with buyers and then start with sellers, but there's no rules. It can really go either way.
Gotcha.
Can you let me share the screen? Cameron, can you hear me?
Hey, Dragana, you should be able to share the screen.
Okay, let me see. I tried again and it was giving me the message.
I have a question. During the initial phone call that you have with the the future client or the prospective buyer, given the way that the market is, especially with how all MLS listings say pre-approval required, proof of funds required, do you ask them if they're pre-approved for?
Over it, don't worry, that's it's coming up, so we'll go over all of this. So can you guys do you guys see the shared screen, the command dashboard? So right here, third icon from the bottom is called designs. And once you're in it, there is this button on the lower right side with the turquoise round with the plus sign, which once you click, you can create design email, social, print. So I'm going to click on print, click next. And then the workspace is being loaded. So on the left side, it's telling you KWF, listings, buyers, lead generation. So if you click on buyers, you're giving an option of 5 possible design templates for buyer presentation. So you click on use, and then you're gonna see there is a way to to customize it. Also, so all the pages are listed, so you can like replace photos, you can like replace like any of the like copy like in these boxes. So like I'm sure you've already worked on your listing presentation, so you can work the same way on buyer's representation. Also, there is so many like video guides, like webinars on how to do this. Like there is, like you can also like go to, I'm going to put this in our chat. I'll put this link to this page in our like chat, so you can like ask all kinds of find answer to all kinds of questions that you have. So there's many resources in Command, and that's where these like really great templates, and you can like just choose the one that really works with your aesthetics or like what your preference is, but a great starting point. And of course, you can just like further customize it and do with it whatever you want to make it more yours. So let me just, here is the link. So copy and and have this link to find all the answers to your questions about the customization and everything else. So let's go quickly through this buyer's presentation so that you guys understand like what it all consists of. So each section of the buyer presentation like helps you connect with the buyer and build their confidence in your value proposition. As I mentioned, you can make changes to the presentation, including like either deleting pages completely, adding pages, adding sections, or like reordering the sections, like whichever change you end up making, just make sure that you also added the table of contents accordingly. As we go over each section, we'll also discuss the resources that you will need to customize the presentation for the buyer. So if we go to the next screen, the beginning, the first section of the presentation kind of sets the tone for your relationship with them. Like it opens by asking them to explain their dream home buying experience. So main thing that I can tell you about the buyer's presentation and working with clients, it's important to really listen carefully to them, to give them space to talk, to listen, and they will, while talking, uncover so much very helpful information that will be helpful to you as you continue to work with them. So as they're there because they're thinking about buying their dream home, let them, go to that emotional place. Ask them visualize your dream scenario for buying your home. Let them tell you about that home. And also ask them what's the one thing that has to happen to make that a reality, that home dream buying a reality. Ask them, how can I help make that happen? And ask them why it's important to them, what's their main motivation. And ask them if there's just one more thing to make this process amazing for you, or better, what would it be? What is that important to you? You'll find out that they might have worked with another agent, and then they will tell you let's say like I really did not like that agent, like I was never able to get a hold of them. Like, so you know that it's very important for them to like respond to them in a timely manner, or they're gonna say like, oh, he kept sending us home that were like in much higher like price range. So you just want to be like really mindful, like, and focus then on, you know, like what specifically they like want or need. And you like this page also sets the tone, you like establishing their needs, you like their wants, and we'll go over what the difference is, and the values as the center of the relationship. If we go to like the next page, where you're going to be establishing some standards, uncovering expectations and preferences. You're going to build your preference profile. Get it out of the way, find out, again, remember you're in service industry and want to find out what they respond best to. Do they like to talk to you on the phone? Like, do they prefer to just text? Do they like the email? Find out what their preferred method of communication is. Find out what's their ideal timeline. Then you can also then bring up the question and just ask again, if you didn't get that answer like during that phone call before, or now want to get into that deeper, have you looked into getting pre-approved for a home loan? You're going to find out if they have cash to cover the whole purchase, or how much they're thinking about putting down, and and so forth. You can also find out if they know any lenders, if they work with any lenders, and you can also recommend the lenders to them. We are in extremely competitive seller market, and working with a good, reliable, professional and responsive lender is gold. And it's important for you to educate your clients and let them know that there is different kind of lenders. They can go with big banks and traditional lenders, or they can go with mortgage brokers. Many of the clients are they think that they can get the best possible rate by the banks that they have had long relationship with. From my experience and experience of majority of our colleagues, it's been impossible to work with Citibank, Chase. They take forever because they work with quantity, not as much with quality, and take forever. So even though you might have by contract 30 days long escrow. In my last escrow last month, my client brought their own Citibank lender. They did not get loan approval, even though they were pre-approved before the whole process for much larger amount than actually the amount my client ended up purchasing their new home for. They did not get that loan approval until 33rd day in the process, which is crazy and puts your client's funds at risk. Because of that, they're missing their contingency dates, and their down payment is in danger. So you want to build relationship with lenders, find out who are the lenders that as an agent, you and your clients can get a hold of anytime. That they're reliable, they're gonna push through the process, that their lending institution is can send the appraiser there within days, can process the appraisal in reasonable time, so that your clients can respond with removal of appraisal contingency on time, you know that like they're gonna get the approval on time and all of that. I highly recommend Andy, who works in our office. She is with Movement Mortgage, and I have worked with her on multiple deals. And let me tell you, she's saved so many of them. She's so wonderful, like makes it super easy for clients to communicate with her. She's always delivers on time or before time. She is resourceful. She will find a way to overcome. And there's always like some issues that come up, you know, like, or like the underwriters, insist on, but she will find a way to advise clients and to make sure their loans move smoothly through the whole process, and that your clients are able to close on time. You also want to talk to the clients about the price range that you are comfortable with, but also make sure that they understand that the first step of the process is really getting pre-approval, like by the official pre-approval by the lender. Because in many cases, when you're trying to make showing appointments, in many cases today, especially during COVID, when we had limited showing slots because we had to bring everyone in separately. Listing agents were requiring that in addition to the COVID related showing forms that you submit, you also your client's pre-approval and proof of funds, because otherwise they would not even set up the showing appointment. You also want to make sure that they're approved and that it's realistic, that they can really buy the house, so that you're not spending all the time with them, and when in the end they're not going to get pre-approved and they're not able to buy. Remember, they need to be willing, able, and ready. So you want to make sure that through the conversation that they're willing, that through pre-approval and checking their proof of funds, they're able, and ready means that in their mindset, they're ready to get on the market and get the process rolling. So building the preference profile is about uncovering their expectations so that as an agent you can meet these expectations, and also finding out about their preferences for communication and also the anticipated timeline. You also want to talk and again, let them go to that emotional place and tell you about their wish list in regards to the home of their dreams. It's very important to explain to them what the difference between their wants and needs is and you want them to in the end come up with a specific list of 5 top most important needs and 5 top most important wants on on their end. Needs are something that is a deal breaker. It's something that's most important in the home search, whether it's price range or budget is definitely one of them. Then it will likely be the number of bedrooms or the size of the home. Then and you can ask questions, ask them questions to help them really consider everything that they should take into consideration before coming up with that final list. Again, needs are non-negotiables. Some people just want to buy the house with the pool. They want to buy a house with a large yard. They want to, they need to be in an area that's walkable to restaurants, cafes, or to whatever. They need to be close to where they work. So these non-negotiables are really their needs. On top of their needs, you want to find out what else is important to them, what would be also nice to have in their house, but that those things should not be deal breakers. So you like, maybe they're gonna say it would be nice to have a garage, but you like, if the garage they have has been transformed into an ADU, like, or a guest house, that's fine. We'll be fine having like just a driveway. Maybe gonna tell you, like, it would be nice if we can, in this price range, also find something with a pool, but if it doesn't have the pool, and has like a large yard, that's fine as well. Like, some people will tell you, like, they don't want a large yard, like they don't want, they don't want to like maintain, they don't enjoy like gardening, or they like don't want to like deal with that. Whatever it is you want to find out, you want to ask them, like, when people visit like their home, like, what do they want these people to think or say like about them? Like, that's also uncovering what they're thinking about, like what kind of image they want to project, like with their house. And like, that's it. Like, sometimes we'll discuss different things, and you should be taking a notes during the whole meeting. Sometimes they will need a little bit more time, and you can tell them, like, after a meeting, especially because you want to keep this appointment about 45 minutes, not longer. You can say, like, these are all the great things like we've spoken about. Look, we just spoke about 15 different things. Like, I would love you to go back home. You guys can talk like among yourselves, like, and then send me what that like wish list is, and clearly state like your top 5 needs, top 5 wants. And you're gonna want to have that list, because that's the list that you're gonna keep bringing them back in, because you'll see, like, once you start showing them properties, many people, they will always find something, oh, like I wish it had like this and that. And you want to remind them, listen, like, but it had all the 5 things like from their top 5 needs. Like, remember, like, when we went over that list for like needs and wants, like, this one is in a great school district, like it's close to your work, like, and remind them about the things that are most important to them, and make sure that I understand that no house is going to be 100%, but like, the things that they should settle on or make compromise on should be the things that are not high on their priority list. You also want to talk about different neighborhoods, and hopefully you had that phone call before the meeting, so you prepared and included here like neighborhood insight. So let's say like during the meeting, they told you like, we would really love to be like in Northeast LA, like maybe Highland Park, like, or Mount Washington, Glassell Park. So you're gonna do the homework so that you are aware, like you don't want them bringing up, like some listings that they've seen or like aware of that sold like recently there. Like, you don't want them to know more about these neighborhoods that and like by preparing for the meeting and giving them some statistic, you will show your like that the area, you're aware what's happening in the market over there, and just like give them confidence that you will know how to like deal in this area. Use designs in command to create a neighborhood snap for each neighborhood or like zip code you want to include in the neighborhood like insights. For help with creating a neighborhood snap, like I'll just post a link right here. Hold on, just for oops. I'll just put this in the chat. So go to the link and explore, find out like how that's done. Neighborhoods in your market that you would want to include for comparison, like should be in that, like if you had that, like conversation with them prior to the meeting, should be in that, like price range. So, like you don't bring something that is like $2 million above, like their like realistic price range. And also, like if let's say they're looking for a house, like that they're willing to put work in, like, and because they have like resources or they themselves want to do some work, you want to make sure that you're not taking into consideration some cops which were like brand new, like renovations. Like just want to kind of, they want to make sure that they are like heard and that you pay attention to their needs and wants, and you want to show your knowledge and your expertise. You also want to go over the process so they understand like what all is part of the process. Like first step is partnering with an agent, and that's why you are there. Like they need to get pre-approved for a loan, and if they don't have their own resources, like you will share with them the like list of a couple of different lenders that they should reach out to. And I always, whatever the referrals are, I always recommend at least 2 and sometimes like 3 lenders, but make sure that they know what's happening on the market and how important, like what an important part of the whole equation, the role of the lender that they end up partnering with will play. Third part of the process is, like finding homes. So you're going to explain to them that based on this very thorough conversation you're having with them and your understanding and knowledge of like what would be the best matches for them, you will be sending to them on regular basis new listings. And you can discuss, just say like in today's market, like typically a house is listed and the most it's going to stay on the market before offers are in is a week. So expect sometimes emails from me, like every single like day. And then if you, among the listings that I'm suggesting to you, if there are any listings you would like to see, let me know right away, because we need to make an appointment and get in before anybody else, so that we'll have time, if you like the house, to prepare the offer and be able to, like put your whole package together so that you're considered. And you will like explain to them that when the time comes, you will be there like every step of the way, holding their hand, and they will be able to reach out to you, like explain them the process, and they'll be able invite them to, like to ask any questions that they might have, because an informed buyer is a confident buyer, and you want to work with comfortable and confident buyers, like, like calm, who understand the process, who understands what it takes, and the ones who trust you. That's like the the recipe for the most successful agent client like relationships. Sometimes you like do you guys know what the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval is?
Yeah. For pre-qualification is just basics without running their credit yet. And pre-approval, I believe, is pretty much the sheet they give us to go to send out for any offers and such, or even go see a property.
That's correct. So pre-qualification is pretty much just like an informational conversation with, like between lender and buyer, when buyer will tell them, yes, I make this much money, I have this much in like a saving, I'm willing to put this much as a down payment. And then they come up with, like lender just tells them roughly amount that he or she thinks they would be pre-qualified for. In today's market, pre-qualification means really nothing. So they need to understand what the difference is, because sometimes they will tell you, oh yes, I have been pre-approved. And always, like if they had been pre-approved, ask them to send you the pre-approval, so that you can actually make sure it's a pre-approval. It also needs to be recent, because like things change and you will be asked for an updated pre-approval if, let's say, the pre-approval they have is more than, let's say, 2 months like old. And and also, I don't know if you guys are aware, and that's, like where the main difference, like is between traditional lenders like big banks, is that they involve the underwriter, who is the main person in that like approval process, and because the person that digs deep into the every single piece of paperwork that they ask your client for and decide whether that like loan is approved or not, and issues the conditions under which that loan will be approved. So the traditional banks, which are typically able to offer clients slightly lower rates, but in some cases it's just the appearance of a lower like rates, and they're able to do so because they do huge amount, like huge quality. They only bring the underwriter in the process once your clients are in escrow. So there is a chance, even though they give you pre-approval before you start the search process, and you find, like, you work hard with your clients, they find a property they love, you work hard on putting their package together to negotiate, you make sure that their offer is accepted. You are in, you are in escrow, you go through inspections first, like you negotiate after inspections, work so hard. And then on week 3, they let you know that even though your client was pre-approved, that his loan did not go through and they're not approved. And this happens in like 15-20% of cases in in escrow. You don't want to be in that situation. Mortgage brokers, in order to be competitive, they bring in underwriters for the pre-approval process. So their commitment and their pre-approval is much stronger, because you can really rely on that. You have an underwriter who is looking in all their paperwork beforehand, who can tell them before you even start that process and put that much work in before your clients put the deposit in, initial deposit 3% before they pay for inspections, before they pay for the appraisal. You don't want your client spending all of this money and only to find out that their loan in the end is not gonna go through. So that's why I always love to work with mortgage bankers. Again, Andy Christian is amazing. I love her so much, and I had great relationship, and we work amazingly as a team. They bring underwriters in the process before, and make your job easier as well. They are super quick turnaround, like appraisal and the approval. So you can also put together much more competitive offers that offer, in addition to the best price, that offer the best terms, meaning that you can offer shorter contingency dates for loan and appraisal approval, which sometimes is going to be what is going to make the sellers pick your offer against another one. So if we can we move to the next page, Cameron? I'm so sorry, I just realized that you were not looking at that page that I was talking about right now, about the explanation of the process. Cameron?
Hey, sorry about that. I'm
No
on
worries.
2 other calls right now, so bear
Yeah.
with me.
If you can
Sorry.
just go to the explain the process page, that would be amazing. So this is what we've been talking about right now. And then you can move to the next slide, which is Keller Mortgage. So Keller Mortgage page in the buyer presentation is optional. You can include it or not. But if you do include this, which you're telling the buyers that they can also work with Keller Mortgage, which is Keller Williams' own mortgage option. You also must include the affiliated business arrangement disclosure at the end of the document, making sure that like the clients understand that this lending service is related to Keller Williams. If you go to the next slide, so you've gone over the process, you've listened and like uncovered their motivations, you've put together like a sheet that their own personal preferences about the communication with you and what they expect from you, and also what they expect in the house and in the neighborhood. And you want to close focusing on your own value proposition. And if you were in my class a couple of weeks ago, we worked on this, and I hope that by now you have finalize your own value proposition for the time being. As like we spoke back then, your value proposition is going to be changing over the next couple of years. Like you want to distinguish yourself out there and acknowledge that there is many other agents out there, but highlight why you are the right one for your clients. After you finish the presentation, like highlighting your, like a value proposition, you want to move to, like the presenting them with the buyer's representation agreement and asking them to sign. So like I recommend going over it quickly. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. And I don't know if you've ever seen this agreement before, but I will share with you right now so that you see what it is about. Yes. So the buyer agreement. Hold on just for a second. Any questions so far, guys? Yes, no, maybe. Can you guys see the document?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just like the offer, like the purchase agreement as well, or the listing agreement, like this document starts with the disclosure regarding real estate agency relationship, explains that relationship, like explains what the role of seller's agent is, what the role of buyer's agent is, talks about possibility of dual agency. Unlikely, like not, it happens sometimes, but maybe, like you have a listing that also fits all of their wants and needs. And then among the other listings you're going to be sharing with them, you might want to share your own listings and they might go for it. So you just want to address that possibility and explains how that would like work. And, like, and also there's like a whole bunch of just small print that goes together with this. And then in the buyer representation agreement, and we always go for the exclusive one because you want to be one and only agent that they are willing to work with. It just lists like the names of your clients. It also lists the period that you're signing this agreement for. You want to like offer 6 months. If they have like any objections to that, you can make it shorter. You could say like 3 months, and then you can always extend it at the end of it. See if that's like the only thing that they are like feeling weird about, like like 6 months, do it for 3 months, and again, remind them that if things don't work out, if you're not a good match, like you will walk away, you will make the best recommendation for them. You want to, when in the section 1A that talks about the property to be acquired, you just want to make it like as wide as possible. And by default, I always put, let's say, like property in Los Angeles or Ventura counties, because that's what we most of the time are dealing with. You can put like a price range from 1 million to 5 million, or just put anything that's around the price range that your clients are like looking for. If they're looking around $1 million, then it's stupid to put like 5 million. You can put like $1 to 2 million or 1.5, whatever you think is appropriate. Second part talks about the agent relationships. Again, single agency, dual agency, what you might be working with multiple buyers. Chances are you might be working with someone else who would be looking for similar properties like they are, and you just want to clarify that you might be representing other buyers. Maybe yes, maybe no, but you want them to be aware. Then number 3 is compensation to broker. You want to explain here, just say like great things about working like here in California is that in 99.9%, like my commission will be paid by the seller. So there is no expense on your end. Mention to them that you might occasionally come across some pocket listings or homes that are for sale, listed for sale by the owners, in which owners are not willing or are not financially able to pay for this commission. Just say only in this case, I would ask you to pay my commission, like whatever it is, 2.5%. But this is so highly unlikely that this has happened. And if you want and you're not feeling comfortable with this, I don't even have to show you these, these properties, because they will definitely happen much more rarely than the other ones. You also want to make sure that they understand if you guys decide to part ways, and during the time you were working together, you shown them, let's say 20, 30 different properties, that you will still, because you were the one who introduced them to these properties in the first place, you would be entitled to compensation even if they continue working with another agent. And it's a good idea, and you should send them the list. Let's say you decide to part ways, send them the list of properties that you've seen together and the properties that you personally brought to their attention. Then there is part that talks about internet advertising, about social media. It talks about brokers' authorization and obligations, and talks about the scope of your duty, and also talks about buyer obligations, and and addresses any potential, let's say if there is any potential conflict, how their attorney fees handled, how dispute resolution is handled, and so forth. So it's really just 4 pages, and just clearly brings everything that they could have question about, and gives answers and resolutions. Part of this is also buyer's inspection advisory, which is good for them to talk. It's always if in many situations, just because we're in a very competitive market, buyers will be expected or can make their offer much more attractive if they waive inspection contingency. It's important for them to understand that they would then be at risk of finding out that there's some major issues with the house. But this is the risk that many buyers, in real world, this is the risk many buyers are willing to take to get into a property. But this states that it's against the advice of the broker, but they might want or need to do this, like, and they have to do it at their own comfort level if they decide to waive the inspection contingency. And also make sure they understand, even if they waive the inspection contingency, they still have the right to inspect the property, but they just don't have the opportunity to back out of the deal or renegotiate it if during those inspections they acquire new knowledge about the property. And there is also like another disclosure, which is called possible representation of more than one buyer or seller, which I already mentioned. Like many of these disclosures overlap and the same things are repeated, but that's how like it is. And also like there's a state wide buyer and seller advisory, which is kind of like also addresses everything that buyers and sellers should be aware of as part of the whole process. So, like, it is great that we offered this to them for review and they can, like come up with the questions. So, like sometimes the clients are like not going to be able obviously to go through all of this like during the time of the meeting. You can give them additional time to say like, I'll email this to you, like take a day, like go through it, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm more than happy to guide you through this as well. But explain to them that your expectation is that this is signed either now or at the end of the first showing appointment with them, if like they would like to work with you. Any questions about this agreement?
Hi, how you can access those forms, please?
So they are one of the car forms. Like, do you guys have the car membership?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go there, like you can either type in the upper right corner, you will see the search button, like, and you can either put the name of the form or the acronym for it. The acronym for this form is BRE, B as a boy, and it stands for buyer representation, like agreement. And you can download it like from there, and then through car, you can also, so you need to prepare this like to personalize for the meeting and just enter the name like of your clients and some basic information. If you're meeting clients in person, like you can bring it during the meeting. If there's any specific like objections that you can address during the meeting, you can cross out things and just have them sign, or you can just give it to them, let them review it, and let them know that you can also like tomorrow after they go through it and you answer all their questions, you can also send it to them through DocuSign, so they can electronically sign it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
One thing too for the forms, I don't know if you guys have heard of zip forms. I think it should be free if you're a member of NAR as well. So that's something, because that's what I utilize, zip forms. It's called zipformsplus.com, or just type in zip forms.
Yeah, that's the same thing, like car forms or like or zip forms, like, and like that's where you find them. You have to like be a member in order to be like, and you have to have your account set up in order to access them. If you still don't, like, you can contact like Cameron, like at the market center, and we like should be able as a brokerage to give you these that are like empty and don't, because you'll see like if you do your own through your own zip or car like account, your information is going to be shown on the bottom part of each page. There will be your name, there will be your contact information, and your license number. I think that our brokerage has this form without any information, and which like then can be personalized either by hand, like, or digitally if you're sending out. But like maybe if you still like you like don't have money like to purchase like the membership or yet, you can use it for the time being, but down the line, once you start, like you'll be needing these, you're going to be needing, like the purchase agreement to put an offer together, the listing agreement, disclosure. So you have access through these to every possible form, and you cannot work really if you don't have your own account. I'm just letting you know that our brokerage might be able to help like temporary before you get to that point. But it's definitely one of the things that is like one of your main tools that you want to have access to at all times. Like, so that's that, like in regards to the agreement. Do you guys have any questions in regards to the consultation, like things that should be covered during the consultation, before the consultation, as a follow-up after a consultation, and this representation agreement?
I have one question, please. There's a buyer I'm talking to, and he's been working with the real estate agent for almost like 6 months. And he told me the deal didn't go through. Like it felt like an escrow, even he got approved at the beginning. I still don't know the whole process and the whole story. But if he's not working with the real estate agent right now, what should I do to gain him? Like what forms I should fill out with him again? Should I send him to get pre-approved again? Should I?
I missed the part, I don't know if you said, like, when did he send you the pre-approval? Have you seen it?
I know he didn't send me the pre-approval yet.
Okay. And did he tell you like when it's from?
No.
Okay, so you want to find out and just explain to them they need to have an updated like pre-approval. And if they have it, just say like, send it to me so that I can start putting together the whole package, so that once we come across the properties, we have everything like together. And likely if it's older than 2 months, they will be asked for an updated, like one, and find out who their lender like is, and and so forth. And then you also, if they have someone that they feel really strongly about, like I cannot tell you how important it to stress like how important that you have a lender that you trust and know is. I recently worked in an escrow, which was such a nightmare for my client, who is a dear friend, because they brought their own lender, was the Citibank. Put my client under so much stress. My clients had account with them through Citibank like for many years. So if anybody had like into their like financial situation and everything else, they did, because they bank with them forever. They issued them pre-approval for 1.5 with 20% down. They made process super stressful. They literally did not so the appraisal continued. And before we started working, I had a conversation with that lender while I was putting the offer. And I said, like, which contingency dates do you feel comfortable with? I want to put together like as competitive offer as possible. And they said like 14 days approval, 17 days like loan approval, which, you are typically pushed to give a little bit, like shorter contingency days like these days. But we were able to get the offer accepted even with that. And then they did not even send even though they started telling us from day 2 that they've contacted appraisal department, they should be contacting us every day, literally until day 17 or 18. And again, our contingency date on the contract was 14 days. The sellers had the opportunity, they can cancel the contract. If it, that's not in. They were supposed to give the loan approval by day 17. That did not happen until after the close of escrow was originally scheduled. And in the end, they approved my clients for 1.3. Remember, originally they pre-approved for 1.5. They approved for 1.3, and instead of asking them to put 20% down, they asked them to put 35% down. So that's a huge difference. They asked them to put more than 400,000 instead of 250 down. And, you know, like most of the cases, people will not have that money or have that, you know, like flexibility. I did not feel confident working with them on day like 12 or 13. I had a conversation with my client and I said, like, listen, that amazing rate that they offer you, they offered them like 2,875 at a time when everyone was already up to like 3,125 or 325. I said, even though it sounds amazing, like, honestly, like if they never give you the loan approval, what good is like some amazing interest rate if it's not realistic, or if they're not going to perform, or if they put your deposit like at risk? And I said, like, I want you to double down. I want you to I want you to talk to this mortgage broker. He's convinced that even though he's starting on day 12, he can still close on time and give you the appraisal and loan approval before Citibank. My clients was not convinced at first, but because I knew how important it was that they could potentially lose this deal, I offered to pay myself for the appraisal fee so that wouldn't be something that they're objecting for. I paid $600 like for that appraisal. And let me tell you, they closed with this mortgage broker. They were able to close the escrow as promised on time to get the appraisal in like sooner. And in the end, offer them exactly the same conditions, which Citibank will let them continue working the whole time, because I really wanted to know what in the end they're going to be able to deliver. So once they issued that final loan approval, their interest rates was higher than what they initially like quoted. So it's important to let your clients know that, even if they insist of wanting to go with their own bank, which I think it's a terrible idea these days, they're all the same. And they will keep lying, and they will keep not giving you the exact answers. Everybody, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, everyone is the same. They're just so overwhelmed, and you're not talking to your lender. Like, they're working against their system as well. And they're not just, their system is so big and had procedures and so forth. Mortgage brokers, the system is much smaller. They can get through, like their manager is able to manage to move your case like ahead, like in the line and things like that. Even if your clients insist on going with one lender, make sure that they double down and they cross, pre-approved with another mortgage banker, because the chances are that you will have to resort to that at some later time during the escrow, and you want to be as ready and as far along in the process as possible.
Can you please provide us with the mortgage broker you think it's best to work with, so we can
Yeah.
help us whenever we have a
Well,
client?
Andy, like if you guys are on, on our, my most favorite is Andy Christianat. Like, she's with Movement Mortgage, and she's our official office lender. Unfortunately, because of COVID, she hasn't been coming in for last year. And I don't know when she's planning to come back into the office, but she's always reachable and always super helpful, professional, personable. Like, clients enjoy working with her, and she will find solutions. If there is a solution, she will find it. I'm gonna copying and pasting this right now. I also, on top, like at the very beginning of the chat, I put in my personal contact information. Please, call, text, email. I'm here, happy always to help. If you guys have some specific questions, I was in your shoes not that long ago. I know how it is. And just always know, we're problem solvers. You're never gonna know everything. But important thing is that you're honest with your clients. Tell them, I'm not sure about it, but let me find out. And I will get back to you with the exact answer. Contact us will be able to point you to the right resources so that you can give good advice to your clients and be a good agent for them, because
Thank
that's
you so much. You've been really helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Anything else, guys? Good luck out there. Remember, 2 things: education, lead generation. Every day you should be calling 10 people from your network, making the connections, strengthening those relationships, letting them know you're in this new career, like you're doing something that you're very excited about. You have great support system with like the best agents like in the area. You will do amazing job for them. Don't hide behind the fact that you're new. You know, like some people will find it exciting. Just say like, listen, like all these other like super successful agents, they're too busy. You're like, the chances that you're going to be working directly with them are pretty low. You'll probably be working with their like assistant on one side, with their buyer agent on the other side, you know, like, and so forth. They're dealing with 10 clients, 20 clients like you're going to have my undivided attention. I will work my butt off just for you and hustle. I'm hungry. I need to build my business. You know, like that's your value proposition. Let them know how excited you are. And people always respond well to this. You like, they want to help someone get started, especially if they see that you are excited and working hard on this. So go get to those leads, because leads becomes clients, buyers and sellers, or tenants and landlords, wherever you are. And good luck with all of that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dragana, can I ask you a specific question?
Mhm.
About something I'm going through right now? Like I'm trying to put an offer in for a buyer of mine. And usually when I reach out to the buyers, the selling listing agent, it's usually pretty easy to kind of get basic offer guideline.
Mhm.
But right now in this market, I've been trying to reach out to this, the buyer's agent, the listing agent, to provide me offer guidelines. And it's been like 3 days and no email return, no text return. And it's a pretty popular listing, and I'm just I don't know if you've seen that in the market right now. I'm just not used to this type
I'm
of
seeing it a
communication.
lot, and it's quite frustrating. And it could be because the agent is just too busy to get to everybody. Did you make sure that the offer guidelines are not posted on MLS? Because in many cases they are in that like documents folder, like on MLS. Sometimes, which is not really nice, and that's not what should be happening. You know, like in this competitive market, many buyers like decide to go directly and work directly with the listing agent. So the listing agent might be representing some buyers, and they might be, you know, like just kind of, you know, like deciding not to be like too responsive. You know, like, but all you can do is like try your best. You know, like you call, you text, your email. And it's hard to stay politically correct and to maintain, because that relationship with that listing agent is, you know, like sometimes what's going to make or break, like whether your offer is going to be accepted or not. So like, don't be rude with them, like even though they probably deserve to be like called like for like whatever. But you kind of like have to walk that line between, you know, like sucking up, like, and making sure, you know, like ensure that they know you're professional, you're interested, you're trying to do your part as a good agent, like to make it easier for them and to get them the best offer like they can get. So, you know, like all you can do is try. And you know, like it's very important to reach out to the listing agent to make that, you know, like connection happening. I don't know if the listing agent was there for the showing. In many cases, they let you go into a house, they're not even there like these days. But if you can get that conversation started before the showing, during the showing, follow up after the showing, and then, you know, like hopefully you have a good rapport, like, and they will be providing you additional intel which you need in order to put together a winning offer.
Yeah. It's just a wild market out there.
It is.
And getting along is everything in this industry. But when you can't reach
Many
people, it
industries,
just,
but this one is like so much about relationships with other agents and relationships with your clients.
Okay.
Absolutely.
thanks so much for the lesson today.
Absolutely. Good luck. Have a great
right.
rest of the week.
Okay,
Bye,
you
guys.
too.
In the office.
Ciao.